for today are Francis Patterson, Hal Roach, he's got his video there on the side, Larry Hancock, and Billy Pritchard. Before we get to the substance of today's meeting, we have a housekeeping matter to address. As you see from the agenda, the presentations today, there are to be two of them. The second one was to be a representative from the governor's office. We had, by letter, invited Governor Cooper through Mr. McKinney, his counsel, to send an emissary from an employee of the executive branch, just as we have received input from the Superior Court judges by their conference, from the District Court judges by their conference, and other subject matter experts who have tendered or been asked to or tendered particular topics that they would address. Today we, though, have received a communication from the Governor's Council just a short time ago that they were sending Judge Don Stevens, recently retired, who would speak for the Governor. I've just spoken to Judge Stevens, and although we appreciate, Judge Stevens, your being here, the purpose of the invitation and what was explicit was to invite an official from the executive branch to address us, and therefore we're not going to hear from you today, Judge Stevens. I would tell you that as for me and the other committee chairs, I'm delighted to speak with you at any time. We had meetings, in fact, this morning with both representatives, again, of the Superior Court Judges Conference and the District Court Judges, and we intend, as this process is designed to elicit input from every sector in a reasonably organized way here, and of course offline, as much input as we can possibly receive. Judge Stevens hoped to have a conversation with you in that way.
Senator Bishop. Mr. Chair.
Senator Chuck.
May I ask a question? While I do respect your decision not to have Judge Stevens speak before the committee, I guess to embrace the idea found in your statement about hearing from different perspectives and stakeholders, it would strike me to be a missed opportunity to hear from Judge Stevens today, given the perspective that he brings to the committee. I think we are also aware of some comments that he has shared publicly, but I would certainly, as a committee member, be interested in hearing from Judge Stevens.
Right. Well, Senator Nick.
Yeah, I'd like to just comment on that if I could, in that, I think we couldn't have been more explicit about who we were asking to attend. And unfortunately, when the executive branch sends the judicial branch over, it sort of blurs the line and confuses us. And if it's confusing us, it's certainly going to confuse the public. So I think keeping the line separate and keeping it organized and methodical, as you described, is a better way to go.
Let's not have this become a free-for-all. I appreciate the members' input, the prerogative of the chair, and as I say, the
Senator, if I could be recognized.
not at this time, Senator. We'll move into the agenda in just a moment, but again, the purpose is not to have we understand Judge Stevens is partisan of Governor Cooper's, but the point is not really to have partisans appear, but to proceed in an organized way and have, as I said, various sectors represented through their duly constituted organizations.
Excuse me,
So we'll move into the agenda, and there'll be time for members' comments and questions.
This is a housekeeping question.
Senator Ford's recommendation.
Is it my understanding that this room does or does not have audio for the outside citizens to listen to?
Senator Ford, I understand that it may not. At least the other one we were in just a minute ago did not. We have streaming capabilities in a couple of large committee rooms, as you know. Both 643 and 544 are occupied with other matters. This room was occupied with another matter we displaced for the purpose of having the meeting go forward. So that's the circumstance that we're in today.
Last quick follow-up. I think in your spirit of openness and transparency, the logistical change in timing sends a bad message to those folks who are very, very interested in this issue. And in the future, as it relates to scheduling, I would appreciate any thoughtful consideration that you could put us in a room where those folks who are interested in this topic could be able to listen to at least the audio of what's being presented before this committee. And I would appreciate any consideration that you could lend toward those folks.
Thank you, Senator Ford. I also would prefer to be in room 543 or 544 or 643 for exactly those reasons. Our previous meetings have been there, and I hope we'll return there as soon as we can. Perfect's not the enemy of the good. All right, with that, let's...
Point of order.
What's your point of order, Senator McKesson?
Point of order is this, Mr. Chair. From what I understand, the chairperson or chairpersons have made a decision relating to whether the governor's duly appointed designee should be allowed to speak. I think that requires a point of order because I don't think necessarily that can be made simply by the chairpersons alone. I'd at least like to have it put up for a vote. I'd at least have to have some conversation because if the executive branch has duly designated a person to represent them and to articulate their thoughts, their opinions, and where they stand on the issues that are before this committee today, I think when we decide to just have two people arbitrarily say that that person cannot speak because they're a former judge, not a current judge, but a former judge, is inappropriate. And I think that we could have a point of order to clarify among the members of this committee whether that is exactly what should be done and bring it up for a vote.
Have you heard the member's point of order? The point of order is overruled. We'll proceed with the agenda. The first presentation today is by Scott Gaylord of the Elon University School of Law. Professor Gaylord, are you in the room? I saw you earlier. There you are. Thank you, sir, for being here. If you'd approach and speak to us from the witness table, I think your presentation is loaded. And your topic today is a presentation on judicial selection methods. Thank you again, Professor Gaylord, for being with us. Don't know. Find out. Suspend for just 1 minute if you would, sir. Let's see if we can figure this out. Does anybody have to consult that problem? Be fine. Mr. Gaylord, I hate to just to move you, but I think what we'll do for the sake of keeping you on the recording is ask you to come and present from this podium.
All right, thank you. Folks lose out of great view of the back of my head, but you'll survive, I suppose.